welcome to The Creatives, Radio Now's entertainment talk show. My name is Doris Okorie. You'll be listening to us every Friday at 8 p.m. on Radio Now 95.3 FM and also on our other platforms. On our website, www.thisisradionow.com, on Facebook, facebook.com/thisisradionow, and on YouTube, Radio Now Studio. Today in the studio, I have, as usual, a very talented guest. I have with me in the studio one heck of a creator. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready to enjoy this interview. Let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back. You're tuning to The Creatives on Radio Now 95.3 FM. My name is Doris Okorie. I have with me in the studio a content creator who tells stories one frame at a time. She has worked with celebrities such as Bovi, Maya Atafo, footballer Odion Igalu, and many more. Welcome, CEO Goldie's Universal Studio, Goldie Idowu. Thank you so much, Goldie, for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
First of all,
so do you, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, I was looking, you look amazing.
But to be honest, the shoes, what size?
41.
Oh.
I claim 40, but it's a 41. It's a 41.
Okay, I'll pass for now.
For now.
Okay, so let's get right into this interview. Give us a rundown of how you start your day, especially when you have like a photo shoot to prep for.
Okay, so in my line of work, scheduling is the most important.
Okay.
You know, I try to divide my day into different parts. So I usually prefer DMs, you know, get clients through my DMs so I can schedule them perfectly.
Okay.
And on the days, so basically I wake up in the morning, I get my daughter ready for school. I look through my day to see what has to be done. If it's a day we shoot, I arrive at the studio at least 3 hours before in order to prepare the lights, make sure my team is on ground because sometimes traffic could play a big
especially
role. Yes, exactly. So I make sure everyone is on ground, you know. Then we go through the idea for the day, the concepts we're working on, and we wait for our clients.
Right.
You know, it's all about comfort for me. I want everyone who walks through my doors to feel relaxed because that's how you get the best photos.
Right.
So before the actual shoot, we take a moment to just get to know each other better, get them more chilled, you know, get in a vibe, listen to music, and then we proceed. Music is very important, you know. Okay. And when I'm done, I head home after selecting the best photos. My whole idea with shooting is not to take 1,000 photos. Once you see that perfect photo, you would know it. So we try to limit them to max 50. Sometimes the clients get shocked, like, oh my God, we are done. I'm like, yeah, we're done. And that's on the shooting day. On other days, we focus on editing. Okay. So sometimes a photograph could take between 2 hours and 5 hours, depending on how much work is involved. And I make sure I dedicate days just for that because I don't want to get overcramped or burnt out. Okay. And then on the other days, which are very important to me, I take at least 1 day a week to relax. Yeah, very, very important. Because it is so important to get into a flow, and I don't like getting burnt out. Right. It gets exhausting, you know, dealing with people sometimes. You never know what characters you meet. So, you know, I take that day for myself. I paint. Oh, you paint? Yeah, I'm an artist, so I paint. Nice. I don't think you noticed in my office I had the tool. That was you? Yeah, that was me. So I do that, or I cook, you know, and or learn. Nice. I try to educate myself on the trendy stuff. Exactly. Okay. Anything that has to do with photography. Great stuff. So how did your love for photography become a career? Because the truth is, I know some people might know you as, you know, a socialite. And when I met you, I was like, wait, you do photography? And I was like, okay, I'd like to know. Yeah, you were actually shocked that you were in my studio. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, how did your love, or how did it even start, your love for photography? I think I've always been destined to be in this line of work, to be honest. Okay. So before I moved back to Nigeria in 2019, I had a clothing line in Romania. That's where I was based. And we had to do a lot of promotional works. So we had to get models to shoot them, you know, to promote the brand. And many times I found myself behind the scenes, you know, and in front of the camera also. And I don't know, it was always something fascinating about it. The whole process of getting dressed, doing your hair, and just being a completely different person was so exciting to me.
Right.
So I had to learn. I educated myself. I did 2 years of photography. You know, there's so many things that you have to learn and understand how it works. And yeah, somehow here we are.
Yeah. Okay, so what challenges did you face when you started your brand, Goldie Universal Studios?
In any business, we all know there are challenges.
Yes.
You can't deny that. One of my biggest challenges was, where would I establish myself? So like I mentioned, I lived in Romania, and I was in the process of moving here. And I thought Nigeria, Lagos would actually be the best place for me to establish myself. And moving wasn't easy. I had this ambition of, I need to do it. I need to achieve. I need to show the whole world that I'm the greatest.
Right.
And one of the challenges was actually finding the right location. You know, I did have a previous studio, which was literally 2 weeks to opening. And we had issues with flooding.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's sad.
So I had this huge space which I wanted to make different backgrounds on. It was filled with lights. And when the floods started, it took all my lights. I lost everything. Literally, I lost about... Can I say?
Yeah.
So I lost about 7 mil just with that location.
No way.
Yes. The lights, the rent, I got no refunds, you know.
Oh, my days.
And of course, being alone, starting up a business, the panic set in. You know, what do we do from here? We couldn't recover anything. And I didn't want to put my clients in an unstable environment.
Right.
So, of course, we got a new location, which I'm very proud of. You saw it.
Yes, very beautiful place.
I designed it myself.
Oh, nice.
There were actually 2 stores that I split. You know, I broke through the wall and we created a space.
Great stuff. So what challenges?
And another challenge is actually getting the right team. Getting people who understand your vision, who see what you see. Because everyone you work with, of course, I have my second hand, my second photographer. He has his own style of shooting.
True.
You know, and I have mine. But how do I translate that into him understanding what I need out of the job, you know?
Right.
And that was a big challenge. I went through a series of different people, different talents.
Just,
and
trying out hands
but
and
I'm
stuff
happy.
with your team now. Okay, so what challenges do you currently face as a more established brand?
That's the key word, the established.
Yeah.
Now, am I more established today than I was 2 years ago? Yes, definitely. We've put in the work.
Right.
There's growth. But I wouldn't say we're completely at our mark. Because a lot of people assume, because of the way I am and carry myself, they feel, oh, she has everything she needs, you know, she probably is going to be overly priced, which is not true in comparison to other brands out there, other photographers. So we do face that problem, you know, people just assuming instead of just asking the question. You see, if it doesn't work for you, the budget, then it's fine, you know, we can always work around things. And also, promotion is very important. You know, you literally have to be out there, put yourself out there in the world. And I find it challenging sometimes because I'm an introvert. I like to stay home, you know, but for anyone who's trying to open up a business, you have to understand that promotion is key. You know, networking, the people you know matters a lot.
Right.
And at the moment, I go very much on word of mouth. You know, when people get to meet me and understand what I'm working towards, they actually help promote a lot, which is great for me.
Right.
You know, I wish I could actually display more of my work, but there are a lot of people who want to stay quiet.
Right.
You know,
and just
their shoots
not
are
have
for
their
them.
stuff on social media.
Exactly.
I totally understand.
Not everyone believes in social media.
Right. Okay, so I see that you've done a variety of photographic concepts. What concept do you think that you would like to try next?
This, I should actually say, was my first love. So when I planned on opening this business, I was solely interested in shooting boudoir photography.
Okay.
You know what
Could you explain what boudoir photography is?
So basically, it's a more sensual kind of photography. You know, not vulgar, but sensual. You get to explore or capture the woman's body on a more intimate form. Now, boudoir photography is not necessarily for the internet. You could gift your husband literally a nice little lookbook with sexy photos, Yeah, you could do that. But I wanted to make women feel confident and comfortable in their own skins, because as much as we love photography, the process of actually shooting makes a lot of people nervous.
Right.
They get anxious and they don't show their true selves through the photo. So I wanted that. I wanted women to embrace what they define as flaws,
right.
To embrace the good, the bad about themselves. And eventually I would...
You get to that.
Exactly, I would get to that.
I will be waiting.
Exactly, but for now, I want to focus... We cover everything, basically, from weddings to... everything, basically. Birthdays, anniversaries, corporate shoots,
nice.
Everything.
Great. Okay, so...
But we will sneak that one in.
We'll sneak that one in real quick.
We have to slowly, right. But it's coming.
Okay, so most people, might not agree, because now we have, technology like our phones to take pictures and edit. What would you say is the importance of photographers and, of course, photography?
Now, I always say photography is life. Photography is everything. Photography is arts. Yes, it's easy to pick up your phone and just take random selfies or have someone do it for you, but the process of being involved in something bigger than just a phone photo is everything. You get to create memories and moments that is beyond the photo itself. You see, this is why I say in my studio, it's all about comfort. It's all about embracing who you are when you step into the studio. So as much as the photo itself is important, everything else surrounding that is also important. And I'm sorry, you can never get a perfect airbrush with your phone. You can slap filters, but, it's different. It's beautiful. It's a whole process.
Okay.
And photography lasts forever.
True.
Without cameras in the world, we wouldn't know half the things we know today.
True.
Honestly, they wouldn't be documented, So whether we like it or not, photography is a huge part of our lives. Pictures are everything.
And I quite agree with you. Okay, so my next question.
I get to look back at certain images I've had in the past, and I'm like, oh my God, I did that, or I look like that, so it's good.
Right.
It's a good thing.
If you were not in the photography business, what would you be doing?
Like I said at the beginning, somehow I have always been surrounded by photography. I love arts. So I paint. And if I wasn't doing that, I would be into interior design, because I also, interior decoration, because I also studied that.
Oh, nice.
But if you look at the correlation, even if I painted, I would still have to use my camera to shoot, to display, to promote. And so goes for interior decoration.
Right.
I would still have to use my camera. So even if I don't do photography as a main business, it's always going to be part of my life.
Okay.
But
right,
I look forward to more creative
things. And that's the thing about being a creative, is you can never be boxed in.
Yes, you can't limit yourself to one thing.
Yes.
But you don't also want to overextend yourself.
True.
They used to call me jack of all trades.
Right.
I'm very good with my hands. I had a cupcake business.
Oh.
Yes, I'm very good with baking.
Nice.
But you see, you need to find something that you're very passionate about that doesn't exhaust you to the max.
Yeah.
In that way, you can do it for longer periods of time and still get amazing results,
And while also enjoying it as well.
Exactly. You have to enjoy your craft. Right. If not, it's pointless, honestly.
Right.
You don't want, if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you don't have the passion for it, like you, for example, you're into radio. If you didn't have the passion for it, you wouldn't be who you are today.
True.
You're smiling.
Yeah, and I'm happy and I'm excited. True.
You have to be passionate about what you do.
Okay. All right, let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back. You're tuning to RadioNow 95.3 FM Lagos. My name is Doris and I have with me in the studio CEO, Goldie Universal Studios, Goldie Idowu. Do not touch that dial. Welcome back. You're tuning to The Creatives on RadioNow 95.3 FM. My name is Doris Okorie and today in the studio I have with me CEO, Goldie Universal Studios, Goldie Idowu, and we have been having an absolute amazing balls time.
I would have to agree.
All right. Okay, so let's start this. I like to talk about money because I feel like money is important. I mean, below me, chopping and spending the cash. So, how profitable is the photography business?
In every aspect of life, this is, oh Lord have mercy, we need that money.
Right.
You can't even deny it right now, you know. But when it comes to photography, you can make a whole lot of money. Oh. To be real, it's very lucrative. It doesn't matter if you're at a lower level or you're at a higher position, you can make very good money. Like literally cover up your rents, your bills, your equipments, because the equipments cost a lot, you know. And you can live a very good life. You can travel. Basically, it all depends on how you position yourself. It's all up to you. How high do you want to get? How relevant do you want to be? So based on those things, you push, and you push a little bit harder. Right. So even if it means you're going to have sleepless nights, you have to have your goal. And yes, you can make money. And the truth is, there's so many young photographers now that want to do this business, but they keep thinking, oh, but I don't have that equipment and I don't have that. Right. The whole idea is just start. Right. Once you start, things will fall into place, whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. You know, even if you're just shooting inter-house spots, you're still making money. Right. You know, but yes, there is money in it.
Okay, maybe I should, get all these cameras here and use
exactly. Once you learn your composition, you're good.
Okay, then.
And some basics.
Please pack me this camera. Okay, my next question is, when we've talked about how your day starts, but I need to know the process, your creative process, when you want to, do like a photo or a lookbook or a photography session. How do you go about that process as a creative? Okay.
So the process actually starts from the night before. Okay. I have to make sure my team is on point and ready to go. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, we get to the studio minimum of 3 hours before. We focus on the backgrounds. We set the backgrounds depending on what was requested. Because some people like the plain backgrounds, which is classic. Right. Some people love the canvas, which is more je ne sais quoi. Right. So we get the music going in the studio to make sure everyone is at ease. Because the truth is, you never know who walks through your doors. Right. You could think, oh, today is going to go just as planned, perfect, and then you might end up with someone with a very bad attitude, right. But we always have to stay composed, regardless of how it... Exactly. And I should say till now, I have heard stories about different photographers having issues with clients, but I am proud to say that I've had only the best. Each client, I keep saying, oh, they are the greatest, but no, they're just all amazing. Okay. Very understanding.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why you should go to Goldie Universal Studios. Yes. Send them a DM, okay, yes. And get your family.
We look forward to welcoming everyone.
Okay. My next question is, share with us your experience on your biggest project ever. Your biggest project. How was your experience like?
So my biggest project actually was my first wedding. So when it comes to wedding photography, I like to have at least 2 to 3 weeks notice before, in order to get to know the bride and groom, and the families. Because you don't want a situation where you're shooting the family and you're like, oh, where's the father? And they're like, oh, the father, exactly. Yeah. So I like to do the preparation. But for this wedding, I had 3 days to prepare.
Oh, what?
3 days. I was so nervous. Actually, both weddings were, full of anxiety, can't lie. So I get there. Usually weddings have time placements, because everything has to go in a certain time frame. You have 30 minutes for this photographer, 30 minutes for that. And one of the challenges I had was I wasn't the only photographer on scene. Okay. There was someone else. And we kind of got into a scuffle of, I want to be the one in front. Yeah, that was an issue for me. We had discussions on that, because everyone shows their greatness through their work. So I'm never trying to override anyone, but we did have those kind of problems. But the best part about that wedding was, as much as it stressed me so much, it made me anxious. It was the most exciting day ever.
Aww.
I got to see what the traditional Yoruba culture is when it comes to marriage, and how the family hands the bride over. Oh my God, it was breathtaking. The outfits, everything about that situation was beautiful. It was. Another thing I didn't know is how early we actually had to be on scene. So we had to be at the hotel by 4:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that was a little off for me, but we got used to that. Now we are used to it.
Right.
But the whole event was amazing. It was definitely an experience, and I usually shoot at weddings. I shoot the family, the bride, the grooms, and friends, and then my team handles the reception, but I'm on them. Like, wait, hold on, get it right, get that lighting, don't mess up the lights, And even the work processing the photos is as exciting as the day. Okay. You just remember, like, oh my God, look at exactly. Yeah, it's beautiful. We get to capture everything from the dancing, the entrance. It's fabulous.
You sound so passionate. Your facial expression is like you love what you do.
I actually do. See, there's so many things I could be doing. I could be in real estate. I could do a bunch of different things, but this one, I had to choose something that represents me, that I'm passionate about. So yeah, I get excited when I talk about.
So my next question is one of my all-time favorite questions.
Okay, now I'm worried.
Right? Because I hear the craziest things when I ask this question. Okay. So here goes. What is the craziest thing that has ever happened whilst you were maybe prepping for a photo shoot, or during a photo shoot, or maybe after a photo shoot, but like...
Oh my God. So I also have heard so many different things. Like, you can't even believe the things that could go wrong on a day. But I had one incident that I could recall right now. There are several, but this one pops in my head. So we had to shoot, we had a shoot where I had to stand from high above, from a higher angle. Okay. So I got on a ladder. And I don't know what happened. It was a brand new ladder, by the way.
Okay.
But for some reason, I think I ate too much pounded yam that day. Because when I say, I almost fell, the ladder literally cracked. So I'm going like this. My second photographer is trying to hold the ladder, and I'm panicking because I'm like, wait, do I protect the camera or I protect myself? It was a disaster. But we got through that one too. Okay. And I hope that we don't get situations like that.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
So how do you...
My biggest fear, though, is my SD card getting stuck.
Oh.
Yeah, this is why when we go for weddings, also we have backup cameras. Because we have two different cameras shooting basically the same thing. Because some photographers have lost all their work before. And that is my biggest fear.
Yeah, but that has never happened.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't. I hope it never happens.
No. That's why I try to prevent it with two different equipment.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you should shoot them a DM at Goldie Universal Studios, because she's always ready. Okay, so Goldie, my next question for you is, how do you keep up with the trends? Because every day there is a new equipment. Okay.
Oh.
There's a new light. There's a new camera. The new something. How do you keep up with the trends?
I wish I knew what I know today when I first started. Now, typical studio, you expect to see a background, I get my backgrounds. I get a bunch of them, in fact. And then a week later, they tell you, oh no, we're doing Kampala today. Or we have to get the Kampalas. Then later on, a month later, they tell you, we're onto canvas backgrounds now. Now, mind you, a canvas background could cost about $900 a pop, per design. So, and the same thing goes with equipment, The way they advertise certain equipment, you feel like, oh my God, my studio won't be complete if I don't have this one. Yeah. But the truth is, if you study your arts perfectly, you don't need to get all those things. If you look through time, even international photography, plain backgrounds will always be classic. My advice for anyone starting is don't kill yourself trying to get everything. What you can do with one light, you can also do with 3 lights. You don't need every single equipment. I personally love shooting with Canon because there are so many others. You have the Nikons, you have the Sonys, and they come at a very high price, But I found the one that works for me because Canon gives the photos a soft touch. Ooh. It's like a soft finish, It's not overly harsh. Exactly, it's not too harsh. So, I buy only what is needed. I don't go with trends anymore. Okay. Now, in terms of styles of editing, I will never stop learning. It's an upward growth, right. So we have to keep up with trends, but don't kill the bank, trying to buy every little equipment.
Speaking about killing the bank and, buying every equipment, what do you think is one gadget that you just feel like, look, this gadget is overrated, to be very honest?
I have one in particular that actually sits perfectly on my shelf in my office. Doing nothing at all. And it's the almighty snoot.
What's a snoot?
Oh my God. It's an equipment that creates different effects, creates lightings and shadows. And I don't know if you've noticed certain pictures where you see like a window kind of effect or the round circular, Those effects, I noticed that you can create the same thing with Photoshop. It saves you so much time. It's actually faster because the time you spend in trying to make sure the lighting is right and everything is working. And that was a trend that only lasted, a month, 2 months at max. People are still back to the standard way of shooting. Wow. So for now, I have a beautiful equipment on my shelf.
Collecting
just
dust.
Looking, Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of clients that when they come, they expect to see these things. They expect to see the millions, the big brands, the names, the lights. They want to see this, but you can do without certain things. There are so many of them, but this is my number one. I wish I didn't buy it. It's good as that, but I wish I didn't buy it.
Who are the people that inspire you in your field?
We know that in Lagos, in Nigeria as a whole, there are so many great photographers. In fact, I can't even start naming names because it's endless. They're amazing. But the truth is, people inspire me. It's not about, people make me feel, they give me ideas, they motivate me, they come in with so much character and attitude and they just make me want to be better, There are so many great photographers and there are more to come, but you cannot do anything without people. And getting to understand what they want and what they desire from a shoot is everything to me. And I try very hard not to look too much at the greats in Lagos because people, you would tend to maybe want to steal their style of shooting, And I try to stay away from that because I want to be authentic for myself, And I just go with how I feel about people.
Okay. So you've touched on different types of photography, family, corporate, birthdays. Which one of these is your favorite to shoot?
Honestly, family portraits.
Aww.
I love love.
Aww.
I love the idea of seeing a family come together. Now, if it's just a husband and a wife, it's always easier, of course. But I love a challenge. You see, when they come with kids, and you have to convince a young person to behave a certain kind of way, to me, that's exciting. Instead of me to get nervous and don't do that or don't touch that, I engage with them, And I have had a few very amazing families in my studio and also out of the studio. And I just love it. There are certain people who come, certain families that come there, you just feel the love. You feel it, and it shows in the photo, It makes my job easier, So yes, definitely family shoots.
Okay.
Now, if you ask me which is the most lucrative, I would say it's the weddings.
Right. That's where the money resides. Exactly.
Exactly. So if you can balance it out between what you really like and what
you need.
Exactly.
Okay. So what are your aspirations in life?
My aspirations in life. Now, I have a lot of personal goals, which sadly I wouldn't want to share for now. But you would find, you will see as the progress goes. But I want to travel the world. shooting. I want to be recognized. I want to become a household name. Like when you think of photographers, you say, oh, Goldie. Oh, my girl Goldie got this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I want to be a household name. I want to be able to travel the world shooting amazing things. Not just people. I want landscapes. I want to shoot buildings, whatever the case might be. I want to take it to the next level. And I want to be able to inspire other people to join this road, you know. So, yes, definitely. There are a lot of different dreams we have, but I want this one to have roots, you know, first before we branch into something else.
Okay. So what's next for Goldie and Goldie Universal Studios?
So one of my biggest plans when I moved to Nigeria was proving to the world that Nigeria is amazing.
Aww.
Nigeria is fabulous. And let me explain. When we were kids, my father took us literally round Nigeria, all the 36 states. You know, wow. Yes, we've been everywhere. We've been to Jos, and there's so many sceneries that are so beautiful. But unfortunately, with the way Nigeria is going right now, most people don't feel very safe going there. But that is one of my biggest challenges. I want to photograph our country. I want to show the tradition, the foods, from the outfits to everything, the culture. Because when you talk to people outside Nigeria, they think Nigeria is just this cave world, you know. We have no technologies, we have nothing to show for ourselves. And I want to prove them wrong. So that is my biggest goal for the brand. And of course, right now we are into photography, but we also will extend into videography. Okay. You know, it's a working process actually right now. The team is getting bigger by day to day. And hopefully, you never know, you might see a few advertisements out there from us.
Yes.
You know. And my next big project is I've always been into charity. I've always wanted to help people, but I never knew how. So when I get to the point where I feel comfortable, also financially, I want to have a group of people come in, which we would train from bottom to top. You know, everything that has to do with the photography, the camera, how to capture, what to look for, you know, editing skills, and then gift them their first startup package. That is my dream. Because sometimes in life we have amazing ideas. I know how much it took me to get here. I know how much it cost. I know the sleepless nights. But sometimes people have amazing ideas but don't have the funding for it. And that is an idea that just goes under the rug, you know. You just accept it as a failure. So I want to encourage people, and by the grace of God, this will happen sooner than later. You know, we need to help each other. You know, there is room. Someone once asked me, because there's another studio not very far from mine, and they're like, oh, don't you feel threatened or intimidated? I'm like, listen, there's room for everyone to grow. You know, even if there are 10 people on the same block, we can all have our different styles of shooting and the way we are. So I never get intimidated by that, you know. So I want to encourage people to try this. It makes good money. It keeps you happy if you're focused on it. And just perfect your trade, you know. So those are my future goals for the brand. And you never know where it goes.
Right. So Goldie, how can our listeners reach you to maybe, you know, work with you or work for you?
True. The fastest way is actually through our Instagram page. Okay. It's called Goldies_Universal_Studios. All you have to do is send us a DM and we would quickly attend to you. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you at our location.
Thank you so much, Goldie, for coming through.
It was a pleasure being here. You were actually very lovely.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for having me.
So that was another exciting episode of The Creatives, the entertainment show that brings to you all the creatives and how they make the magic you see, hear, and feel. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot like I did. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, please contact us on our social media platforms at RadioNow 953 FM with #The Creatives. So from me, Doris Okorie, and the entire Creatives team, I'll see you next week with another exciting guest. Bye.